Hi everyone, we're going to go over a rope walking system. This is for SRT, single line. That's where you have just one leg of line that you're climbing up. You fix that up in the canopy of the tree, or you tie it basally. Those are other things that we'll go over in some other videos, different SRT anchors. Right now, I just want to show you my method for the rope walker. I've over the years I've come up with a very simple system, which pretty much just uses a extra sling for the left foot, and I run that the off the rope bridge, off the movement of the rope bridge, and I use the hitch to lock my left foot. And on the right foot, I have a pencil foot ascender, the old style. Um, I like this system because it's kind of free flowing, allows a lot of movement. If you don't know that, you need to learn that. Don't watch this video because this is this is not a beginner course. This is to help people who know how to climb. I'm not going to go over hitches. I'm not going to teach you guys hitches. I'm just going to show you the system that I use. So climb at your own risk and don't go in over your head. Don't go trying this if you don't understand it. If you don't understand exactly what I'm doing, you could miss something and it could cause a fall. It could cause problems. Okay, so we tie the Alpine butterfly on the retrieval end, right? This is my climbing end. This goes to my hitch. Don't get it backwards because then you're gonna have to reset. Okay, so Alpine butterfly. 1, 2, 3. Then grab this guy. Grab your middle. Pull him under the end toward your fingers. Right? Go over and around both. Very simple knot. Takes practice, but you'll get it. I mess it up sometimes too. I forget to pull the middle. Okay, so the thing about the Alpine, see, it looks like a butterfly. Very pretty. Okay, so this is going to hold my weight. Very important to get this right. If you get it wrong, it's going to be a slip knot. Let me show you the wrong way. You guys want to see that? I can do it wrong. It's easy to do it wrong. All right, so the wrong way. If I were to pull this one, watch what happens. Now, looks good, right? Doesn't feel good. Why? See that? It's a slip knot. Same thing again. 2, 3. I think I'm doing it right. Grab the wrong leg. Wrap it. Pull it. Snug it up. Think I'm all good to go. Now, provincially, you might be okay with a slip knot up there if it's jammed against the direction that your lifeline's pulling. But you don't want to take that risk. Again. 1, 2, 3. Under. Over. Pull. Right? Easy. We can do it again. 1, 2, 3. Under the front. Over both. Through. Right? Not that difficult. Just practice it. Get that knot down. See, neither one of these, you've got a double cross now. There's your butterfly. Right? Make sure you do it right. See how when I pull it, nothing slides out. You want to set this. You want to set this and dress it. set and dress this knot down here, get it tight, because when it goes up there and you put weight on it, it's going to change. So, traditionally, you would take this leg of line and feed it through the Alpine, right? Which means you have to undo all of this. So let me show you two simple methods for attaching the Alpine. Okay, my favorite one, I usually bring a wrench for this because there are torque specs. This is called a delta ring, little twisty ring. When you're setting the delta ring in the Alpine, you want to make sure when it's up there that you're not pushing on here, right? So just imagine when I pull this, and this is going to take practice too, practice this over and over again. So when this goes up, so it's been a long time, I probably want to have my opening facing this way and not this way. So we're going to say opening, to make it simple, opening facing the retrieval end, okay? This is slack, this is non-load bearing. So we're going to try that, right? Always set your delta ring so your sharpest point here, right? So when that all comes together, this line runs in here. It has some play. Keep everything in order. Don't mess up. Don't get disorganized. Don't get in a hurry. Don't let it fool you. You need to fool it. Okay? So this is, it looks like it's going to set pretty clean. Okay? So this is my climb line. You guys see how that worked? That's pretty simple. You can see that my connector is facing out. Why we do this, why we use a delta ring and don't feed through? Number one, I don't want to undo all this stuff. This won't feed through this loop. If you get too big of a loop, it's going to be a pain. This also reduces metal on rope. It reduces rope-to-rope friction, which I'm a strong proponent of. Anywhere you can reduce rope-to-rope friction, please do it, because a lot of rope failures are from rope-to-rope friction. I mean, it's fine to use the Alpine. It's fine to run a rope over a limb without a friction saver, but in the long run, if you guys use these friction savers, if you use some sort of friction saver and some sort of separate connector for your Alpine butterflies, your ropes will last longer. Your sets will be easier. And the last advantage of this over going through the rope, say I get up there and I want to change my anchor point. I just unhook this just like I did. I lanyard in. I stand on a limb up there. I lanyard in and unhook my Alpine, and then I can reset it anywhere up there in the tree without worrying about pulling all my line through. And it's just a quick, simple reset deal. Okay, this is called the Pinto rig. You put it on your climbing line, the line from your hitch up and over, right? Put the Pinto rig on, and you got to be careful with this one. Put your Alpine butterfly through, all the way through, touching your climb line. Okay, now you take a carabiner and put that over the two. All right, so the jury's out on this system. What's going to happen here if this fails for any reason? Because of the jury's here, right? They say this could fail, it could crack, whatever. If it fails, you're still here. Yeah, the carabiner might cross-load, but you'll feel it pop, and that's where you say, okay, now I got to do some evasive action, get up there, get this cross-loaded carabiner off the tree, right? And you try to put it so your gate is facing out, which I did not do, so I'm going to change that. The chances, if this ever had a problem, because the way it's going to sit up in the tree is like that, right? The weight's going to all be here, so you can't really cross-load. I mean, possibly if this failed, you might be able to cross-load this, but in very rare circumstances, if you set everything upright. So here, does the same thing, right? And you see how that sits up there? Now, I really like the way that that sits up there. My carabiner is supporting it. The pulley is supporting it. That's another quick and dirty, quick release system for your Alpine butterfly. I really like it. It's actually quick and clean. You saw how the pinch was here, so there's no hazard really. And inevitably, if you look at it, nobody's ever had one of these fail on them. Yeah, maybe if you took a major shock load, it could. Which, you know, if you're in that position, you're not having a good time anyway. The shock load resistant on these eyes is, I guess it's rated at 9 kN per eye, so you still have 18 kN. If you should have an incident, and then you have 24 to 32 minimum on your carabiner for backup, plus your rope. I mean, if you're going to have a failure, I think it's going to be either in your anchor or it's going to be elsewhere. But usually, this is the way that I set my SRT line. I have my system hooked here, and I'll pull it all the way up. Then I'll set my Alpine, because when I pull that down, it's going to give me a little bit of slack. So here we do the Alpine again, right? We went over this. We all happy? Everybody happy with it? Everybody knows now, right? I said I wasn't going to teach you, but there, I just taught you how. So yeah, we're going to play with the Pinto rig. I like it. I think it's really cool. Come up through, grab them both. Right? Nice and tidy like. Now, this is where we get into the DDRT thing, the MRS rope. Today I'm looking at a very complicated tree job where I'm going to be doing a lot of limb walk. I would like to have two lines, but I don't want to carry the one, and I don't want to leave it tied to my tail at the bottom of the ground. I want it up there with me. So you can make another Alpine on your retrieval end. Now, what I would do, just to play it smart, is I would spike my climbing system on this line, right? And I would leave lots of lead out for the working end above the hitch. Why? Because if I do get up there and I need to hoist something, right, pulling the tail, now I have a progress capture system. You can hook your carabiner to the end and just go if that's best for you, but I like to be well prepared. Now we put that system up in there, up in the tree, okay? That's all up there. This is the tail of my DDRT line, okay? So even if I had a groundy, he could tie something on and he could pull that tail for me and hoist up. If I have, say if I'm doing speed line and I have a whole bunch of slings and another line that I'm going to set up there, well, I don't want to climb up with it. I don't want to put it up there until I'm up there. So you tie it right on here, right? Easy enough. So this all, you go there. You want to just get it out of your way. It's retrieval. It's not for climbing, right? We can all figure this out. So I position, right? Now I set my climbing line, but I didn't weight it yet. So you want to weight it. Take your pencil Panton or whatever foot ascender you have. Give it a few good bounces, right? That's even if you sit in your saddle and give it a few good tugs, that's going to guarantee you that you're not going to have any slippage. That's going to guarantee you, and you look at it, that's going to guarantee you that everything is set up right. Principle behind SRT, if you haven't done SRT before, this is your basic SRT system. You need this. This is a rope wrench, ZK1 old school. You need something coming down the line, right? You need something. Say, here's my hitch. As I advance, this does nothing. This just flops around. I don't need it going up. But as I come down, it puts a bend in the rope. It adds friction so that my hitch doesn't bind up, because SRT, single rope, is 1, 1, 2, 1, right? Doubled rope, DDRT, is moving rope system, so that's 2 to 1. Okay, so there's that, right? I'm hanging, comfortable. You saw that I went up the rope. You can do SRT if you have one of these and you have a hitch. You don't even need this. Well, here we are. So for SRT, you can climb SRT without one of these, but you want to have a foot ascender. Because this is called the sit-stand method. Simplest. You can learn SRT without one of these. Now, coming back down, you're going to want to add something above your hitch, or you're going to want to add something to the tail, a prusik. Munter that tail through a ring off your side to add friction, get some of the friction off it, some of the load off of here. You only need 20 to 40% before that's going to let you slide down. That's all that this device does. It only does 20 to 40%. It's not life support like a lot of people think it is. The less friction you have here, almost the better, because it slides easier, heats up less when you want to go real fast, right? So you want to get things gauged in so it works best for your climbing needs. But you want to have a foot ascender. You want to have a nice hitch that's easy to operate. You can't do this with a Blake's hitch unless you do what's called the RAD system, like you saw in the one video, SRT RAD's video. So here we do what's called the sit stand. Sit. I'm only tending rope because I'm still low. Stand. Sit. Stand. Okay? Okay, so to get up here, right, as I explained, this device did absolutely nothing to get me up here. All that got me up here was this device, right? This device and this device, this system. Okay? So you sit and you stand, 10. Sit, stand, 10. Right? Now, watch this device now. And I'm going to make it real slow for you guys. Right? As I go down, push on the top of the hitch. You see how that's bending the rope? Do that, and you can control that fast or slow. Now, that's what these are great for. It's a cheap device, cheap add-on. There's another device called the Hitchhiker, which I really like. It's a hitch base. I like hitch base. There's lots of them, lots of different devices out there. So, you know, watch and learn. If you're an experienced climber and you want to get into this, watch and learn videos. Figure out what's best for you. If you already know basic climbing, really the YouTube is a great source. Now, this is going to give me my rope walker. How? I'm just going to put it there, right? I have a girth hitched. I made this splice, but you can just tie a bowl in if that's all you have. Here's my left foot. Here's my right foot. Oh, just speared my finger. Here's my right foot, right? Left foot, right foot. You say, well, Mark, I see all these fancy knee ascenders. I see all this other stuff. So how come you just put a foot loop? How are you going to rope walk with that? Well, I use my hand here. With those other things, you might not need your hand here, but when I climb, I'm holding on to the rope, and I like to stand up straight. Right? I'm going real slow here. You guys see how that just worked? Pretty cool, huh? All it is a rope. It works off of the action of the rope bridge with the hitch. Right? Pretty simple. I'm not very strong, but I like to stand up straight when I climb. Once you get going, okay, so it's pretty simple, really. Thank you guys. I hope this helps people out. If there's anything I missed, I will readdress it in another video. We'll see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe.